real cases before a real judge.
Plaintiff Otis King met the defendant online, but after they got married, he discovered he wasn't the right guy for her. Otis claims he treated the defendant with respect, but she was verbally and physically abusive. Otis is suing his ex-wife for an unpaid loan. Defendant Lakita Ellington denies that she abused Otis and says if anything, she loved him and still does. Lakita claims her only issue with Otis was that he took too much Viagra and was obsessed with sex. And Lakita says she failed to repay Otis because she wanted to keep him in her life.
Tell me what happened.
Well, Your Honor, Lakita and I met back in 2009. And when I met her, I fell in love with her. I never loved a woman the way I loved her. My love for her was very strong. Later, about a year and a half, we started dating. We met via the internet. So after dating, we decided that marriage was right for us. So we got married twice. First time we married privately, then the second time we married in a church.
So you had two ceremonies. You
Yes,
didn't
sir.
marry twice, you had two ceremonies.
Yes, sir.
Because
Yes,
to
sir.
marry twice, you have to divorce first and then
Yes, sir.
remarry.
Okay.
And when did you all get married?
2010.
What was it like?
Well, sir, after marrying her, I discovered that I wasn't the right guy for her. Lakita
You
had
know
been
you were deeply in love, you said. You say you felt the type of love you never felt before in your life. And
Yes, sir.
Like a song when you say
yeah, it did. Go ahead. So,
Yes, sir. Well, after marriage, a lot of things started manifesting itself that didn't show.
how long after meeting did you all marry, or how long after dating?
About a year and a half.
And you couldn't see things after a year and a half?
Well, like I said, after we married, a year and a half,
Okay.
things started showing up.
When you married.
Yes, sir.
But
Yes, sir.
for a year and a half, they never showed.
No, sir.
Gotcha.
Well, sir, after marrying her, I discovered that I wasn't the right guy for her. Lakita
You
had
know
been
you were deeply in love, you said. You say you felt the type of love you never felt before in your life. And
Yes, sir.
like a song when you say
yeah, it did.
Plaintiff Otis King is suing his ex-wife, who says she still loves Otis, but had a problem with the fact that he took too much Viagra and was obsessed with sex.
Tell me what started showing up.
Lakita had been in a lot of abusive relationships. And I was very kind to her. I honored her. I respected her. But she responded to me in a belligerent way.
She jumped on you.
Basically.
Okay. Well, in other words, she made you a victim of domestic violence.
Yes, sir.
All right.
No, sir, I did not.
And you suggest this is learned behavior from her former relationships where she was a victim of physical violence.
Yes, sir.
All right. Ma'am, what do you want to tell me?
Okay. It is true that I met Mr. King in 2009. It is not true that I was abusive toward him. If anything, I loved him and I still do.
And what was the relationship like?
I had fun. He was everything that I wanted as far as a man. The only problem I had with him was he took too much Viagra. Basically, he was obsessed with sex.
Obsessed with sex.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I don't know where he's getting all this from because we had a good time.
Well, why'd you break up then?
I'm trying to figure that out because Mr.
Who told whom I no longer want to be married to you? It begins there.
He just left.
That's one way of telling the
He
person.
took the washing machine, the vacuum cleaner, all of the...
That's a clear sign.
Yes. And all of the lingerie, the pretty lingerie he bought me, he took that also. So...
Did you ever speak to him later and find out why?
We got back together.
So you didn't divorce, you just
Well,
you just
leading up to the
separated.
divorce, he had filed for divorce, supposedly took it off the table. I went with him to his lawyer's office. The divorce was still going through when we had the
All right,
wedding.
when you got back together, did he tell you why he left in the first place?
Not really, no, sir.
Never bothered to ask?
I asked, he said that I was too assertive.
Okay, so he did tell you.
Yeah. But he
Okay.
knew that when he met me. I've always been,
Did he ever complain about it
no, sir.
prior to leaving?
No, he enjoyed, I thought he enjoyed me.
You enjoyed your assertiveness?
Yes, because
Okay.
everything I
Sir?
would do.
Did you just run off with all these appliances without telling him?
Yes, sir, I did.
Why?
Because I felt she didn't deserve them. But what she failed to tell you is that she got a washer and dryer in her house right now. I
Good
gave it
enough.
back
I'm
to
just
her.
wondering why
Yes,
you
sir.
didn't tell her why you were leaving.
I just was angry.
Okay, and later did she ask you?
We never had a discussion.
You never discussed. You took all the appliances.
Yes,
You
sir.
returned back home and it's never discussed.
Yes, sir.
Good enough. All right. Anything else?
No, sir.
All right, why are you laughing?
I'm sorry.
You said it was never discussed either. Go
Well-
ahead, sir.
Lakita's stepfather became terminally ill and was hospitalized.
When?
I think this was back in November.
You all were divorced by that
Yes,
time?
sir.
All
But
right.
we were still together.
We were still communicating.
We were still together, sir.
Were you dating?
We were still having.
I'm asking him. I heard you.
Yes, sir, we were.
Okay, and she borrowed $22.50. Tell me how that went down.
Yes, sir. Her father, a stepfather, became terminally ill and was hospitalized. And at that time, I was doing volunteer work. And whenever I was scheduled to work, I would stop by to see him and assist him in any way I can. Because of this, Lakita kept communicating with me, updating me on his condition. Well, her father passed, her stepfather passed. When that happened, she told me that they had this upcoming family reunion and that if he was still around, that he would put the money up so they could secure the location for the family reunion. But since he had passed, she asked me, could I loan her the money to secure the location? I told her I would. And
When did she say she would repay you?
well, she told me that normally the people, as they arrive, they pay whatever they're gonna pay, and once she collect, she would pay me.
And when was the loan?
On the 4th of June,
All right.
July.
And that
July.
was 2012?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ma'am?
Actually, that money, it was not to acquire the place. I had already paid that out. It was to finish payment on it. And I thought that we were going to be together and I was going to, anyway, give him back the money. So instead, he filed, the date was the 28th of July. He filed it that Monday. He didn't even give me a chance. I had checks waiting in the bank that did not clear until the 8th.
Why do you
So
think he did that?
he became angry. All of a sudden, the week prior, he came up with the same thing that we always go through when he starts this lingo he goes through. You don't care about me. He just left.
That's one way of telling the
He
person.
took the washing machine, the vacuum cleaner, all of the,
That's a clear sign.
yes, and all of the lingerie, the pretty lingerie he bought me, he took that also.
Plaintiff Otis King is suing his ex-wife, who says she still loves Otis, but had a problem with the fact that he took too much Viagra and was obsessed with sex.
Did you agree to repay him?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what's your defense today?
Well, the checks hadn't cleared up until the 8th, and I hadn't spoken with him. He called me, he was being so nasty, and I knew that if I kept the money, I could keep him,
Okay.
because he loves his money.
How'd that work out for you?
Sir?
How'd that work out
Well,
for
normally
you?
we don't speak for 3 months and then we get back together.
All right, but today you're being sued.
Yes, sir.
Didn't work out too well.
No, it didn't.
You didn't keep him.
No.
Other than him coming to court, you get a chance to look at him now.
Well,
That costs a lot of money to look at him.
yeah.
$2,250. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Miss, we're gonna go this way.
Okay. I bet y'all won't be back with him no more. I always have loved you. You didn't have to do this. You didn't have to do this. This is too far.
I'm still cordial. I mean, there's
That's all you know is your money. You always gave me money. If I had sex with you, you'd give me money. And you knew that I was going to give you back that money, Otis. You knew that. I would never do anything like that to you.
The next day, I called Lakita, and she didn't answer. I texted her inquiring about my money. She didn't respond. I called and texted her again Sunday.
And why did I not respond?
So
if
she didn't call me, I mean, what does that tell you?
Otis, you've never spoken to me like that before. Is it another woman?
So that's the way I took it.
Okay.